hello, and welcome back to 24-hour live stream podcast 8.1. So, thank you, Rob, for coming on.
Oh, my pleasure. I was just typing in chat. I was supposed to be on last week for your 24-hour extravaganza, but the time zones, I messed it up, man. That was my fault. But
It's cool. It's cool. So that's why we've brought it back to now, because this was roughly the time that you was going to be coming on. So
yeah,
it's
right.
all well, the right time, your time, because we're now back to 5 hours and not 4 hours, and it's just
So, but I'm glad to be back. Thanks for having me back. Thanks for having me. I think I was on last year too. I think I was.
Yeah, it's been a while. Because I was on yours in July.
Yeah, you were.
Because that was when I was doing the 24-hour. No, I was doing the paranormal road trip.
Yeah, I had you on.
I had to pull up in a lay-by.
I remember you pulled up, and then you had your Nicole, was it? She was on, and I thought she was from the UK herself, but she's in New York, I guess. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, not too far from you. So that is good. I really enjoyed that one. So.
Thanks.
As always, as you know, I listen to yours as much as I can, but obviously because of the times that you do them, it's only really your Thursday show that I get to listen to, because that's like
Thursday show
for me.
Yeah, when I'm on the UK, folks, it's like 6 hours behind. Yeah, because I'm on Tuesday nights at 9, Thursday afternoons at 1, then tonight on Saturdays I'm on at midnight. So and the midnight show is 8 in the morning for you folks, I think.
I think it's 6 a.m.
Oh, is it? Okay.
You're CST, aren't you?
EST.
And EST. Oh, you're 5 hours, so that's 5 a.m.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So right. If
is that the AI pushing you in, or was that you?
No, I don't even touch anything and it does it. So story behind this, I complained. So I got it on Amazon. I left a review. It wasn't a very good review, but I was honest.
Okay.
And they said, if you change your review, can we send you one out free of charge? We'll refund you and we'll give you a brand new one. I'm like, well, I ain't going to turn that down, am I?
Right.
So now it's doing exactly the same as the other one was doing. But the other one that I've got, it's either black and white or bright orange. I am the same color as your shirt. Doesn't matter what. My face will be the same color as your shirt, regardless what color lights I have. I've got lights in front, I've got lights to the side, I've got lights behind me. Every single one does not matter. I end up going bright orange. I cannot do. I've changed the saturation on it. I've changed everything. So, and this one's 4K. So I'm.
4K. Yeah. Hey, my lighting looks pretty good. In fact, I've been redoing my studio a little bit. And back of me, you see it's black. This is actually a forest with a portal. But I got my lights set up a little differently, so you can't see the actual forest, just the portal right over my.
Just see.
Yeah, you see that? Yeah.
Your left.
Yeah. Right. Your left, my right, I think it is. But anyways.
Yeah.
Looks nice and clear. So.
Yeah. That's good. So, I forgot what I was going to say. I don't know. Oh, you've got 2 books. So you got 2 books out now.
Yeah, I do. Well, Andy, I have my first book, it was they're both the first book's called Bigfoot Michigan Rob Presents True Cryptid Encounters Book 1, and that's been out for 1 year and 3 months, and then I put it out the same title, Book 2, which I put out end of August, so that's been out 3 months.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty proud of those. Those are all. I started doing my YouTube channel about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I started sending out. I promote on my live shows I'm on live 3 days a week, on Tuesday nights at 9, Thursday afternoons at 1, Saturday at midnight. And so I started promoting if you have an encounter story, send them on in, right? And then maybe I'll air them on my show, or if you want to come on the show. So a lot of people, Andy, want to be, no. I'm going to send you my story, but I don't want to come on the show. And so after about 2 years, man, I got all these stories.
Yeah.
And so I said, I have so much material that I'm going to make a book, which turned into 2 books, right? And so I got a hold of all these people. I said, hey, look, I'm looking to write a book. Can I include your story? So it's witnesses that have experienced the paranormal, Bigfoot, Dogman, UFOs, aliens, whatever. And so the books are comprised of actual true stories that I've gotten over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to say about the UK audience, about 30% of my book sales all come from the UK. And then,
That's good.
yeah, that's pretty cool. And then 5% are other countries. Then the most is US. But last month, Andy,
Yeah.
I gotta tell all you people in the UK, I love ya, because last month, 65% of my book sales came
Wow.
from UK.
Wow.
Yeah, so I love you folks out there that have bought it. If you have bought it, leave a review. It does help promote the sales and promotes your country
Yes.
as well. It really does. And so thank you to everybody.
Yes. Yeah, I am going to buy the books. But
I thought you bought the first one. You told me.
No, I was going to, but then you said you was thinking about
Oh,
writing another.
yeah.
So what I was going to say to you is, if you can, if I
Yes.
get both books off you, if you
Yeah.
can sign them, and I'll PayPal you the money to cover the
Yeah,
books
well, if
and
you
the
want to,
postage.
yeah, I will. I tell you what, I've done that for many people that, they bought the book on Amazon.
Yeah.
They're like, man, how do I get this signed? So people have sent it back to me that they bought on Amazon, because the books are found on Amazon. You type in Bigfoot Mission Rob on the Amazon browser, and they'll both pull up. So I've been doing that kind of thing, and then people like yourself, they're like, hey, Rob, I want you to sign it. So what I've done is, for certain people, and I can do it for you too, Andy, is what I'll do is I'll mail them. I have copies here at the house, so I can mail you both books.
Yeah.
And then, we can just make the arrangements. I will do that.
Yeah. Because I've done that from a couple of different people. So all right, I'm just getting your links up now for both books. So I'm going to put both of them in the chat.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks.
That's cool. So there you go.
And so yeah, thanks for that. And so yeah, so I started my channel too. It was like, man, yeah, all these people want, so I said, yeah, I'll do that. It came up to be. I never expected it to do well. I've sold I'm not a New York Times bestseller list or nothing, but hey, you know what? My main objective, though, behind my channel and writing the books is because, Andy, my story.
Yeah.
And I walked alone for 6, 7, 8 months because people didn't want to be judged, ridiculed, lose their jobs, be made fun of. So on my channel, much like all of our channels, you're a friend of mine, and what you do is great as well. It's just, it's a safe place to go. No matter how crazy your story might sound, it's okay. You won't be judged or ridiculed because I never walked in people's shoes. Hey, listen, my Bigfoot encounter, I was so reluctant to tell about it because it don't sound realistic, but it happened to me. And so today, I don't care if you believe what I have to say or not. It happened to me. You weren't there. And I think that's the stigmatism when it comes to cryptids, UFOs, aliens. People think you're loony, right?
Yeah.
Lost your mind. You should go to the sanatorium. That's not the case.
No. Because I always say we don't do it for people to believe us. We do it for those who have had similar or the same accounts, the same or similar accounts, or even completely different, just to put it out there and say, look, we've had this. There's a million other people that have had some.
There's more people
Weird.
out there. There's more people out there today that are keeping their experiences a secret for fear of being judged.
Yeah.
And it's a shame.
Yeah.
And too, what I find over the last couple of years, a lot of these experiences or encounters, a lot of them will have a lot of common elements, a lot of commonalities.
Mm,
It's just not coincidence.
no. No, it's too coincidental for it to be a coincidence.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it is so. Like you said, there's a lot. Because I speak to loads of people, and they're like, people that are not into this, because obviously they find out about the YouTube channel and what I do. And I'm like when I go out, like social gatherings and that, I don't talk about it unless somebody brings it up. And then you'll get someone come over and go, oh, I've had encounters, but I've never spoke about it. And it's,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
And now I go out of my way. I'll be standing in line at the local gas station, filling up. There'll be a long line, and I just, my personality, I'll do it at the shopping market, buying groceries, and I'll just start talking with somebody. I said, yeah, they ask, then you get into the subject. Yeah, I have a podcast. This is what I do. You're gonna think I'm a weirdo, but this is what I do. But 5 people give you that strange and funny look, like, okay, this guy, is messed up. But you get that one person, you're kidding me. Do you mind if I tell you what happened to me, last Christmas? I'm like, yeah, I'll listen to you.
Yeah, well, we've got we're having the kitchen refitted completely, stripped out, and new one put in. And one of the guys who's doing it, the missus was off work well, it's been off most of the week, but she was chatting to him on Friday. So she was telling him about the YouTube channel. I don't need to say it, she just goes around telling everyone. And I got him from work. He just goes, oh, I'm not going to give his name because he says he's going to come on the show and talk about his encounters.
Yeah.
So she goes, oh, blah, blah, blah. He's had these things go on. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to say anything about it now because of like his work and what have you. So that's why when he does come on, some people might work out who he is, some people might not. But I'm not going to say who's who. I'm just going to say it's someone that got in contact. So, but I've got a load of new guests lined up to come on, so it could be anyone.
Oh, that's awesome.
But he's got like 5 or 6 stuff that's happened to him from being a little kid up to whatever age he's now. I'd say mid to late 30s ish.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And it's just I wasn't going to mention to the work guys what it is that I'm doing or what it is that I do.
Right.
Yeah, but
well, it's funny because I worked for Ford Motor Company here in the States for like my first 20 years, and then I saved my money, and then I bought a bar, and I owned that for 13 years, and I sold that in 2020. Right. And I had no premonitions about, COVID. Right. And I kind of got lucky. I sold it. And COVID really wrapped up very hard. And then the guy that I sold my bar to, well, it went out of business.
Oh.
Because all of this, and where I lived, man, during that hard time, 3,800 people in the restaurant and bar business went bankrupt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it was fortunate that I did that, but I feel sorry for the guy I sold it to. Now, cool. However, it has reopened under a different owner, which I'm glad to see that, because I was thinking about just buying it back because I love doing that. And that bar was haunted as well. And so I started telling stories at the bar, and then, but then that kind of ended with COVID, and prior to COVID, and we'll get into that a little later. I told that before, but yeah, so I've had a lot of experiences, man, ever since the age of 5 or 6. Mostly started out with the paranormal and ghosts, and then I saw shadow people when I got married. Then I found then I had a Bigfoot encounter in 2018, and then I started the channel in 2021, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So you started yours. I actually started mine on Halloween 2020
Okay.
because we in the UK. I don't know where it was around the world, but when we was in lockdown, you couldn't even go out, couldn't take the kids trick or treating, and so it's like I just sat there bored. So I was looking into like doing a website, Facebook group. I actually set up a Facebook page because I didn't know what I was doing. So I got it all ready because I thought, right, I want to get into this. So if I set it all up now, I've got the foundations, then I can go to whichever platform I'm going to use and then like do a bit of research while we're not able to go anywhere and do anything. And did all that and then ended up doing my first couple on Facebook Live anyway. So
Right. Yeah. There you go. Right. There you go.
I had no idea how any of this was working.
Yeah. Oh, no, I know.
Yeah.
First time I did a show, I was like so lost. Yeah.
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 I can definitely relate to that.
I look like a dummy,
But did you not love the learning curve? The learning how to do all the stuff that you now know.
well, yeah, it is a learning curve because when I first started out, it was all like Bigfoot and Dogman stuff.
Yeah.
And then over the last year, I got to tell you that I started getting involved with ufology and aliens because my show's expanded from just cryptids to everything.
Yeah.
We do Bigfoot, Dogman, all cryptids. We do UFOs, aliens. We do paranormal and ghosts. We do lost civilizations. So now I know the channel's called Bigfoot Mystery Rob, but it's
Yeah.
more than that today. It's more diverse, more variety because I didn't want to be pigeonholed. I thought about changing the channel name from Bigfoot Mr. Rob to something else, but then I said, well, hell with that. I will just continue on with the same channel name, but I'll expand it into these other avenues because I think, Andy, that I don't care if you're into cryptids or aliens or ghosts or whatever else, the paranormal. I firmly believe it's all connected. And for me, it's still a big learning curve. I don't know anything today still.
No, I know that's the thing. And you know, I've changed my channel name, I think 5 times in total. Because I started off with like ghost hunting, like what people know as what paranormal is, even though paranormal is like anything that can't be explained. But paranormal in the eyes of the norm is ghosts and spirits and ghosts and hauntings, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So I never liked the word paranormal. I'm not as much. I don't mind it so much now, but I just couldn't stand the word paranormal. But it was called the paranormal to begin with.
Yeah.
So I kind of went down, I suppose, a ghost hunting route. But my first thing has always been aliens and UFOs and cryptids and Bigfoot and like fairies, pixies, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, all that. The elementals, all
Yeah.
of that. Yeah.
But I just think the ghost part of it was an easy grip to get into doing this.
Everybody knows about ghosts.
Yeah. So it was an easy hook, get into it and then expand. And then once it starts evolving and getting bigger, then change it to something that I know is going to stick. And as you know, I now cannot change it because I've had it tattooed on me.
Now you definitely can't change it.
So,
and I had put out a survey last year about changing my channel name to Bigfoot Michigan Rob because, as I said, it's more than just Bigfoot. It's really everything. The flack that I got. Don't change your name. It's unique. And it is.
Yeah.
My name's Rob. I live in Michigan. I saw Bigfoot. And I think if you have a good base, a good audience, I think they kind of get that you're going to expand anyway.
Yeah.
For the average Joe, sees Bigfoot, Naylor, UFO guy, they might not tune in. But it's all about continuing on, persevering and just doing what you do. Because for me to change my channel name today, I think it would not work. So I just keep it where it's at.
Well, what it does, it throws your algorithms out. So where you say you're at like, I'm just going to use impressions. So the impressions from day one up to now, I've got like something like 1.5 million. if I was to change it to something else now, even though you keep everything, like the analytics and all that, and your subscribers, it kind of like doesn't reset it to 0, but it may as well do.
Yeah.
So
resets it. So if I change my channel to BMR does it all, probably you're gonna lose impressions.
Yeah, you wouldn't lose that many because you're keeping the BMR, so that's still in your URL. But you know how now you get the handle.
Yes.
So you can change your handle, so it doesn't matter what your URLs are. You get your normal one, what you get at the very beginning. You get your next URL, which you got to choose some of it, and now it's a handle which you can change every 2 weeks, or whatever it is. It's that more than anything, but as long as you keep that original URL, then you should be all right. It's just with the channel change name, it just throws it out a bit for like about 2-3 months for it to then pick it back up and start going again. For Sonny, there's my yellow glasses.
All right, let me see those again. I like sunglasses or glasses in general.
They're night, so they cut out. They're like night driving glasses.
It probably looks good. I bet you it helps somebody stare into the computer too. I bet.
Yeah, when I'm doing a lot of editing and that, especially on the iPad, I put these on. That's why they're at the computer desk. I look very anemic now with these on.
I like it. It looks pretty cool. No, well, yeah. Well, you folks from the UK are pretty pale anyway.
Well, I'm not. I'm quite, or not quite, slightly off white, but it's this ring light. It's making me look transparent.
Yeah, I like it though. I like it.
I'll leave them on for a bit. Stop me getting tired.
Yeah. So
So I'd just keep the name. That's why I've kept Andy Decodes in it.
Yeah.
Well, but then the Alienate.
Well, I don't think you should change this now. It's good because you cover a lot of. You still cover the paranormal. You do cryptid stuff. Yeah. I'm not going to change my channel name. I thought about it, and then my shows are different. You got Brunch with Bigfoot Mystery Rob, Beyond BMR, which I like because that covers everything. Then I've got on Saturday, I got Late Night. It's just called Late Night.
So do you podcast? Do you podcast them separate?
I do them both. Yeah. Well, I actually on YouTube, I do the YouTube, but I also have a separate podcast. I'm on all the podcasts.
No, but on YouTube. So when you create your playlist, you can podcast them. So they're all. So when people search, that's what I've done.
I've done both, and that does help, I believe.
Yeah. So I've podcasted them all on YouTube, and then this one goes out as a podcast.
Yeah.
And the one that me and Becca do, which is non-paranormal, it's just us to chat and waffle. That goes out on a separate podcast.
Yeah.
So
Sunny, I love Sunny. No, I'm not changing it. Thank you so much. Sunny's awesome. She's been following me for a long time. She's great.
Yeah, she comes in here now and again.
Yeah. Well, she probably found what I was on.
Yeah, she needs to keep coming in.
Kidding.
Whether Rob's on or not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm giving you a lot of shit. I'm giving you some shit, Andy. But Sunny's great.
It's skill.
Sunny's awesome. So yeah, I'm not changing nothing. And it works for me, and it feels like starting over. I'm thinking about doing a sports channel. I love sports, but that's not going to be under the BMR flagship. That'll be totally something else.
Yeah.
It's so much work doing a podcast, though, man.
Yeah.
I don't think I have time in the day to do two.
Yeah, the thing is, like you said, because you've got different titles for each day that you do something.
Every show's a different title.
It's like umbrella, isn't it? It's under the same umbrella. Because I kind of not copied you, but I took the similar idea from you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's cool.
I didn't nick it. I thought it was a good idea. I've seen a good idea.
It's a good idea. It worked. It's been working for me. It will work for you. Yeah, you don't change something that's good. You just add to it, and people. It gets out to the vast majority eventually. Yeah, that's all.
It's like Monday. I do that Monday Face podcast. Wednesday, we're back
Yeah.
to doing eerie encounters. Anything else comes under Alienate. So
Yeah, I got you.
yeah.
Yes. So
Cheers, Sonny. Thank you. She's going to share it onto a blog.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Awesome, Sonny. Thank you, and thanks to everybody for coming on in. I appreciate all you guys. Again, I got a nice following in the UK with the books, and even on the channel, I get a lot of UK followers on the channel. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, we've been chit chatting for almost a half hour, and I know they
Yeah.
didn't want to hear us BS about our YouTube channel.
But do you know what? It's nice to know where people come from and how they started and to get where they are now.
It's actually important,
Yeah.
when I have a guest on, a researcher or an experiencer, I always my first question is lame, but it's really not. I said, okay, for those who don't know you, why don't you tell us about yourself, how you get started? I always thought that was just a boring, basic question, but it's probably the best question you can
Yeah.
ask anybody because first of all, their tension is relieved, and now they get to talk about how they got started, and then it just flows from there. So it's
Yeah.
always it's a good little point.
Yeah.
Good little intro question.
Yeah. But it's like anyone that wants to start their own YouTube channel, don't do it. It's an effing nightmare.
No, it's a nightmare. Well, now you got there's a million YouTube channels that talk about the same stuff. So the biggest part of all of this is competition, which is healthy, but man, there's so many choices. So I appreciate each and every single one that subscribes to me because they can go look somewhere else. So I appreciate my audience.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
if they don't, they can tune into Joe Blow versus me because I'm on all the prime times when other prime time shows are on. So I appreciate my folks, my people.
Yeah. Same. They're a loyal following. Right, we've got a question for you before you start. So this is from Grandizer 12. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I know Grandizer. Yes, I do.
Cool. What TV shows in the past have inspired you to do what you do? I just thought I'd put it out there now while we're talking about this.
Well, my inspiration came from my Bigfoot encounter. No shows, no nothing. I started mine from scratch, and I will tell you, as a kid growing up, though, to answer TV shows, I was a big fan of Leonard Nimoy's In Search of, Doug Hijack's Monster Quest. As a kid, because as a kid, I loved monsters. Just because I saw Bigfoot didn't make me a believer in cryptids or monsters per se. I loved monsters. I'm old school, man. Lon Chaney, Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff, the black and white, Frankenstein's monster, the werewolf, the Wolfman it is, and Dracula. Those are, as a kid, I loved those movies.
Yeah.
And still today I do. But my inspiration, what I followed, I didn't follow really anybody on YouTube or anything else other than those two. So now when I got involved in this field, then I started watching other YouTube channels and other shows that were relevant to what I do. So I got a lot of respect for them. But my inspiration was my own encounter and all the things that happened to me at the age of 5, 6, 7, ghosts. I've got way more paranormal stories than I do Bigfoot. I saw Bigfoot once.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Once more than a lot of people, though.
Once more. You got people researching Bigfoot for 30 years, haven't seen a Bigfoot.
Not even had any close evidence, let alone anything else.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
My thing of Bigfoot changes. I was thinking, I started going down it's a real living creature, whether it's from here or somewhere else, I don't know, but I think it's now earthbound and it eats, sleeps, breathes.
Oh yeah.
That was till about 3 weeks ago, and then I'm thinking, Now I think I'm going back more supernatural than
Well, I think
natural.
Bigfoot's flesh and blood, and also with paranormal abilities. There's
Yeah,
no way that it can move, 100 miles an hour. There's no way that it can travel from county to county in 5 minutes. I think they use portals. I just think that there's that supernatural element. What I saw was flesh and blood, but it morphed into what I always say it looked like a demon, man. And
yeah,
what happened to me, you can't precisely put a finger on it. Because what
no,
happened to me when I seen it, when he yelled at me, was paranormal.
yeah,
Because it was just, again, I'm not going to tell my story. It's been said 1,000 times, and I did it on your
yeah,
show, but it was like, it was just an otherworldly experience. The
yeah.
best way to sum
But
that up.
do you think though that some of these Bigfoot sightings are not actually Bigfoot? It's some other form of shapeshifter that's giving the appearance of, say, Sasquatch.
I do. I do believe that a lot of people are so intent on finding a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch, that they manifest a lot of this. And I think there's a lot of paranormal elements in the woods that read
Yeah,
your mind. They know what you're looking for. Oh, hey, Rob's out in the woods searching for Bigfoot. Well, I happen to be a paranormal entity, or I happen to be a shapeshifter, and I'm going to present myself into what Rob is looking for. When in reality, I'm just a nefarious being that wants to suck him into something else,
yeah, yeah,
which is very scary, and I know that goes on.
yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. These too many people with them kind of encounters. I know there's a couple of people in the chat that have had that kind of account happen to them. So
Oh, for sure.
yeah. So anyway, moving on from Bigfoot, let's jump to the paranormal.
Yeah, I can. Here's a crazy thing. I got a couple stories. I got a story that just embodies the paranormal, supernatural, maybe something evil. I mean, I don't know. I got a Dogman story.
Oh, I don't think you've told me that one.
No, I mean, I got a couple lined up for you that you haven't heard, because I want to make it
Yeah.
nice and fresh for you. And these are all found in the books, either one or two. It's a mishmash. But when it comes to Dogman, I think it's something that it could be one of these transitional things, man. I think that I don't think there's good intentions, right?
No.
But I also think the supernatural's involved. And I got this encounter. I talked to this guy. This guy's a priest.
Yeah.
And I talked to this guy for several weeks. And I found this to be a gripping encounter story regarding I titled this in the book "The Demonic Dogman,"
Okay.
and it unfolds kind of like a Stephen King novel. And there was this preacher. He was he was a transient preacher. What I mean by that is this preacher man went from town to town throughout the South of the United
Yeah.
States. And he always seemed to turn up in all these towns that were very poor, poverty stricken, right?
Yeah.
And he would go on and give his sermons. He would always find a congregation. He would set up shop in a church or wherever he was. And he would go on and preach whatever the word of the Lord or whatever it was. And so this is in southern Mississippi, the last stop that he was at, as this guy's telling me. So he's been doing this now for several months, and then a young couple approaches the preacher man after one of his sermons, and they pull him aside and they said, "Hey, Mr. Preacher, could you come to our home and bless our home?" And the preacher man looked up then and said, "Well, why on earth do you think you need your home to be blessed?" They went on to tell him that every night in their bedroom, this white Doberman pincher looking apparition or figure of this big dog would appear at their bedroom window every night with blazing red eyes.
Oh.
Unlike any other Dogman encounters I've had, this is a white Doberman pinscher looking creature with blazing red eyes. And it would sit at their window and peer in at them. And this creature would somehow get into their minds and impose these very horrific images in this young couple's mind. It was always very twisted. A lot of death was involved, and a lot of horrendous figures would show up in their minds. And this entity would always say, I could eat you whenever I chose to. And this would go on for this couple for weeks, turning into months. So they told the preacher man their story. You know, this preacher man, which I find despicable. When I told this guy this too, how could you turn away a young couple that's having these issues? Rob, they had mental problems. They should, they're not right. It doesn't matter to me, my friend. You should have heard them out and at least blessed their home, right? That's your job as a preacher or a priest or whatever you are. So he kind of shuns them and turns them away. A couple more weeks go by. This young couple, they turn up again at the end of the sermon. This is the second time pleading for this preacher to come bless their home. They're still having these repeated nightmares, still having this Doberman picture, white Doberman coming to their room and giving these bad impressions. Going to eat them. He says, look, don't come back and see me again. I've heard this twice. You need medical attention, psychiatric help. I want nothing to do with this. Now, kind of an odd thing. Again, to me, that's despicable that this man, this preacher, right, man of the Lord, so to speak, would do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, they're in southern Mississippi and says, go see a psychiatrist. Well, I'm going to guarantee you something. No practitioner of psychiatry is going to be in a poverty-stricken area. You're going to travel to Memphis. You're going to travel to the big city of Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's there. There might be a local doctor that's been there for 50 years, right? So he denies them. Denies them any help. He says, don't, and the worst thing about this, Andy, tells them, don't come back to church. Don't want you in my congregation.
It's a bit.
Okay. Isn't that like harsh?
Oh, yeah. I'd be
So
like,
my immediate thing is, what is this preacher man scared of? Right? Why are you scared? So I begin to think that he knows something about something. There's a reason why this guy has gone from state to state in the South, congregation to congregation, and never puts more than a year there. He's always on the move. Third and last time this young couple visits the preacher man against his wishes at the end of church. And now this couple is haggard looking. They look, like they haven't eaten in weeks, months. Looks like they lost 30, 40 pounds. It's haggard, just looking like they're on death's row, man. Death's door. Again, turns them away. Very next week, after the preacher man's sermon, he comes out at the end of the congregation. He goes outside. He wasn't paid a visit by this young couple. He was paid a visit by a lot of the town folk. And they told the preacher man, that young couple that always, seeked advice from you to bless the home and this, that, and the other, that you seem to turn away? He goes, yeah. Well, we just want you to know that couple, the husband, the man of the family, took a shotgun and blew off his wife's head, and then he committed suicide and took his own life. We just want you to know that, preacher man. Thanks for helping them.
Wow.
Now the members of this community decide that they want to have a town hall meeting, and they want to invite this preacher in to explain why he turned away this couple. Preacher man reluctantly agrees, of course. He knows that he's going to get a lot of static.
Yeah.
About 20 minutes into this town hall meeting with this preacher, who is being rightfully so ridiculed with all these questions, you know, they're throwing questions at this preacher. Why? You're responsible for this. You know that?
Yeah.
So I guess the preacher man drops to his knees, praying to the Lord, praying to the congregation for forgiveness. He's crying. All of a sudden, on his right shoulder, he feels an impression of a hand come on his shoulder. He turns around, and it's the sheriff of this small southern Mississippi town.
Yeah.
Squeezes his shoulder and says, you know, Mr. Preacher Man, I don't know the preacher man's name. Never give it to me. That's why I keep saying preacher man. He goes, you know, what happened to this young couple, we must confess to you. The sheriff says, I've been seeing this white Doberman pinscher every night at my window. People in the congregation at the town hall meeting would raise their hands and came forward. They've seen the same entity at their windows. And apparently, Andy, this has been going on for years. This entire town is tormented by this white Doberman pinscher, dogman entity, devil, whatever it is. The preacher man is, why didn't you guys reach out? Why didn't you reach out and tell me? I just thought they were a couple that were loony. And then the townsfolk went on to say that we didn't want to open a can of worms. We didn't want to spread the evil. Now, of course, the townsfolk are now saddened that they should have stepped forward and told the preacher what they had been encountering. So a day or two later, the preacher man, he goes back to his home, wherever he lives in southern Mississippi. Now he's ready to pack it up and move on to yet another southern town to spread his word.
Yeah.
He gets a ring at his doorbell rings. He goes to his porch. He looks out. There's nobody there. This is the day, by the way, he had all his bags packed, ready to flee town. He looks down and he sees this big basket, and there's a blanket over the basket. He sees at the top of the basket, the covering, the blanket was kind of moving. He rolls back the covering, the blanket of the basket, and lo and behold, you know what was inside the basket? It was a white Doberman pinscher puppy.
Oh.
Preacher man freaks out. He grabs the basket with his little pup, takes it to the sheriff's office, drops it off on the front porch of the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
And he flees town and never looks back. You tell me that's an effed up story, man.
Just a little bit.
You know?
It's like,
this guy had the nerve to send me this. I did a live show on that like 2 years ago about this guy, and I ripped this guy live on the show, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Because that was what he did. Now that town is also held at bay and accountable as well for not telling him, help his family out. They should have told them about these strange dogman encounters way before the kids. This young couple committed this atrocity.
Yeah, because they knew that they were going to the preacher guy giving, look, this is happening. Can you do something about it? There must have been people in that community hearing what was being said. They've got to. People are nosy.
Oh, man, number one, the town folk knew about it. They knew about the white
Mm-hmm.
devil dog, whatever you want to call it. I'm not calling this a dog man either, by the way. I mean,
No.
it's something demonic. And for the
Oh,
townsfolk to keep it wrapped, for the sheriff to tell them, you know, they should have gave this preacher a clue, helped his family out, bless the home at least.
yeah.
And so what I'm thinking, this reminds me of like a Stephen King novel. How all these, you ever see Stephen King movies or his books where it's always in Maine and there's always a town that has a deep dark secret,
Yeah.
right? They keep it to themselves until they don't say anything about anything until tragedy strikes. This struck me as that situation, but it was despicable. And boy, you know, I tell you what, of all the stories I've done, that one that gets me the most because I really felt bad for that young family, the husband and the wife.
Yep. Yeah. So surely someone could have done something. Just an half-hour chat, just to say, look, you're not losing it. Have you tried? Like Granzia was saying, they could have gone to Catholic Church or something like that and trying to find the chat.
You
know
know,
what I mean? They could have gone somewhere else rather than just sticking to this one guy. But then, if it's a small town,
yeah, I mean, I
they
think
might not have that option.
when I read into this, I'm thinking that it was probably the only place of worship.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, whether it's your Catholic, you know, whether it's Baptist, I mean, everyone has their higher power, and for the higher power of this particular congregation to just turn his people away is just unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. Og's put in the chat, how many towns do have a deep dark secret, though? And not even just in the US, in the UK.
No, how many towns? Yeah, OGG. Yeah, I bet you there's many. I bet you there's a lot of towns, a lot of small towns. All towns have their secrets. I've been finding since I've been doing this, man.
Yeah. Well,
they know they have inherent evil in their town, but they're not going to, you know, advertise it to anybody, especially new people.
Well, sorry, go on. I'll tell you.
No, and this preacher was new. He was not a part of their community, and maybe they just don't want to divulge their secrets. But it costs two people. But it costs two people their life.
Yeah. Could this thing be part of who he is, and it's following him, or it's going with him from town to town? Is it him that's causing it? That's
maybe
what I'm getting.
What I'm getting, that's a great point because I don't know anything about this preacher, man. He never really, in talking to this guy and some of the emails he sent me, I never got the sense of anything. I didn't get the sense that he never mentioned God or Jesus or any of the other, who most people believe in, if you believe. And it never gave me a sense of what are this guy's sermons about anyway? Were they twisted sermons? I mean, I don't really know what the sermons were. Certainly, if it was about love and light and Jesus, then I think immediately he would have taken care of this family, this couple. Yeah. I think maybe he had other alternative ideas, and maybe this guy himself wasn't a preacher man at all. Maybe he was the conduit for evil.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was thinking, like the old, 1700s con man, where they go like the what's it? The thingy oil. Is it snake oil? What do you used to go around selling snake oil? Is it snake oil? I don't know.
I remember people selling back in the Wild West.
And they sell it, and it's like it's this remedy, it can cure this, and it was just
this magic potion, right?
Yeah. Snake oil salesman. Yeah, they're the original con men. Could he have been some sort of like charlatan like that? And he was.
I'm guessing this person was.
That's if he's going from town to town and not sticking about.
I imagine that again, money. the changing of, I'm sure the donations went to the congregation, right?
Yeah.
He was probably, and of course, but all of his towns he said he traveled and were poor. But the poor, believe it or not, I will say this about life in general. You have the rich and you have the poor, and then you have the in between, right?
Yeah.
I find that people don't have a pot to, excuse my language, piss in, are more generous with their money. They'll give you the shirt off of their back versus somebody that has the money or the means, because they know what it's like to be
Yeah.
without,
To have nothing. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. But it does it does come across. He seems too eager to get away to the next town. What's the big deal with keep moving?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Maybe thought that nobody would show up and put money in the basket. Maybe, I mean, if you go back to the charlatan, he probably figured he dried up the town of their money. They think he's a bad person now for not helping,
Yeah.
So he figured he wasn't going to dime from these people. Time to take his charlatan ways and in his
Yeah.
snake
Snake
oil
all his
sell.
way out of it.
Yeah, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah.
And but I got to tell you, here's the thing that the question that I had about the end of the story, how he makes mention of the little Doberman pinscher white pup on his doorstep. I don't know if if the townsfolk were playing a prank on him to scare him off, or where did that come from? What I'm wondering too. That's the other question I have. Where did this little baby puppy, this
Yeah.
puppy come from? You know?
But this is the other question then. When you said that, it's like, did someone put it on his step, or
It
was
was
he out? Was he already in possession of this?
well, I don't know. I mean, according to him,
It's
the
hard.
day that he's ready to flee town, gets up, ringing at the doorbell, opens the door, and there a basket with that puppy in it. Then he said he dropped it off at the sheriff on his way out of town.
But this is the other thing as well. A white Doberman. How
Yeah,
rare are they? I've
I
never
don't
seen a
know.
white
I don't know
Doberman.
that one exists.
I've not even seen a photo of one.
I've looked it up and looked for a picture and couldn't see it. Now, then again, if you go back, if you revert back though to, if we're talking about this dogman that came to the window, well, let's be real about that. If it's a shapeshifter or something evil, they can manifest whatever they want to look like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean but to have an actual mammal, an actual puppy, a living, breathing dog, it's hard to find. In fact, I didn't even know the white German shepherds existed, but they do.
I've just
Well,
learned that now as well.
yeah, but they do exist because I remember years ago my buddy did have one, but
Yeah.
you're pretty hard pressed to find one today.
Yeah. It's just, it's too. I'm not saying it's difficult to believe. It is difficult to believe. I'm not saying it's fake or anything like that.
Oh, for sure,
But it's a white Doberman is being seen by this young couple, and then after they do after what happens with the couple, then everyone else comes forward saying that they're seeing it.
Yeah.
And then a pup of a white Doberman gets put on a doorstep in a basket with a towel over it. He then gives it to the sheriff and does one. And it's the chances of all that happening one after the other are next to nothing.
For sure. But I agree 100%. But here's the thing: I think this town had a deep secret that they're trying to just keep between themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe they wanted that couple. If you could take this and turn this into another area or another thought or another narrative. Maybe the townsfolk wanted this young couple shut up. Why are you blabbing? We've been keeping this secret for all this time, and now you're calling out and exposing us.
Yes.
This might have been a planned thing.
Yeah. So if that, because that'll bring me to what I'm going to tell you about in a minute. So they're keeping it quiet. This preacher comes in from out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's coming in, he's doing his sermons, and he's here for what, say 6 weeks, 3 months, however long. Then he's going to move on to the next town. It's all mapped out where he's going to and from. This young couple are like, yeah, but there's shit going down here, and these white Doberman. And they're like, look, shut up. Like in American Werewolf in London when they go in the pub.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I just seen that.
It's that.
Halloween.
It's that storyline. So it's like, right, something needs to be done. We got to shut this couple up. Maybe he did do it. Maybe it looked like he'd done that to him and his missus. And then everyone else comes forward to cover their own tracks. They get a white Doberman, they put it on his step, scare him out of town, and then they can carry on with their messed up ways.
And that's a great point that I had not really considered. Maybe that this young couple, as you kind of just made mention of, maybe this young couple did not off themselves. Maybe it wasn't a murder, homicide, or suicide. Maybe it was somebody in the community that just decided to, hey, you know what?
Because it's just weird how, like you said, no one said anything until after the bodies were found.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense. For me, that's the only thing that makes sense. Feasible sense. There could be a million reasons, but that's like the most logical, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, there's many ways you can break that down, and yeah, I do. That is in the book. I tell you, it's just frightening, and if this is all, what we're talking about and speculating about, really, especially with if this was something nefarious from this town, then shame on them. And if I knew the exact, he of course didn't give me the name of the exact town. I mean, I wasn't going to fly down there and check it out. I mean, I don't have money just to take off on a whim, but I got to tell you, that's despicable. That's horrific.
Yeah. Either way, whether they've done it to themselves or the community have done it, something's being hidden. The truth, mainly. But where there's a place in Wales, I don't want to give too much away, and that's a bit Wicker Man-esque, should we say. So we're going to go down a field, you can see it on Google Maps, and there's like a raised stone in the middle of this field, and these other I'm not going to give anything away until we've been and come back alive. And these markings in these fields, you can get to it. There is campsites nearby within half a mile of this place, and we can get in and out. But one of the guys in the chat, he's been with his missus, I think it was, or somebody else, and then 2 other members of his family have been, and they were received with the same reception of a group of people that kind of like stopped talking and were just staring at them, and then started speaking in Welsh. And there's like loads of crows, like ravens, but the ravens are like dogging them in. So when people are getting nearby to this area, the ravens are causing havoc to notify the residents that there's strangers about. That's the impression that we're getting from what's gone on. So we're going to go down, have a look about without doing anything first time, weigh it up, find out what's going on. And then hopefully the second time we're going to go in and see if we can get a bit as close to this thing as we can without anything bad happening.
Yeah, this thing.
That's the plan. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give away the
No. Well, you got me hooked. You got me hooked.
Yeah, we're looking at doing that early spring.
Oh yeah. Well, keep me posted on that one, and then you can come back on my show and do the follow up on it. How's that? After you do it on your show, of course.
Yeah. No, I'll come on and do it on yours straight away. That's fine.
Yeah, do it both. I mean, you can say
Yeah.
it more than once. We do with me and the blondes and Tex, we go back
Yeah.
and forth, especially when we go out in the field. We'll do it on all the shows,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah, but like I've got the drone now, so we can go over and have a look. I've got my license for it. I've got my operator's ID and flyer's ID, so I can use that without getting in trouble for using it, because you've got to learn all the restrictions, the height, how far you've got to be from a public place. You can film as long as you're not going to upload it onto social media. You can keep it for yourself. Whether the people that are filmed in it agree, as long as there's nothing dodgy on there, if you're just flying over and people are looking, as long as you don't post it on social media, you're fine to keep it
Okay.
for
That's awesome.
self archive. Yeah.
I want to get me. I'm going to invest myself when I can save up enough money. I need to be a nice drone because I got a lot of areas I like to explore.
Get one of the minis. Get the
mini.
DJI
Okay.
Mini. Yeah. The size of your phone, like no bigger than that. And the legs,
really? Wow.
The legs open up. It's all packed away. I'm going out with it tomorrow. The legs open up and drop down, and you can get ND lenses for it, like polarize, so it can block out the sun. And you can get all different filters. There's loads of different things you can get.
Oh, awesome!
You can get a wetsuit for it, so you can fly it in the rain.
Now that
is
awesome.
Ridiculous.
No, that is ridiculous. And I tell you what, a lot of cryptids come out at night when it's raining.
Yeah.
Or during the day, Hey, like I told you, I got to do something for 1 minute really quick.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm not going nowhere. I just got, what I told you earlier backstage.
Yeah. Well, I'll stick a break on for 2 minutes. Give me a chance to use the bathroom.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll take care of this thing. And if you're new here, if you haven't seen me, I'm 180 away from 5,000 subs, Andy.
Yes, get subbing to BMR.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. But I'm gonna drop out. I'll be right back in 2 minutes.
Yeah, cool.
Do your
break.
thing. All right,
2 minutes 17.
All right, cool. All right.
Right. See you in a second, guys. Hello. Well, we are back and just waiting for Rob to come back. Do have an update, and when I remember what it is, I will tell you. Oh, Christmas special. So we're going to be doing. I've not got a title for it yet, but there's going to be myself, Tommy, again and Nicole, and we're going to talk haunted stories. So these are all going to be legit, and there's no fake ones in it or anything like that. But we're going to be having a few drinks, and there's going to be trigger words for us to take a drink or a shot. It's going to be, I think we're going to do 2.5 hours. I'm going to have a couple of drinks beforehand, and yeah, it's going to be a bit of fun, and hopefully no one's going to be sick. If they are, fingers crossed, ain't going to be me. But yeah, so that's on the 20th of December, Friday. That's our Christmas special with myself, Tommy, and Nicole. Welcome back, Rob.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for that. I got things going on throughout the house, but yeah, I appreciate it.
It's cool. It give me a chance to talk about the Christmas special.
Oh yeah, please be my guest or be.
Yeah,
Well, I'm your guest.
I've done it. Yeah, be my guest and your guest at the same time. Yeah.
Right.
No, but that I was just thinking about that story while I was on a break, and for me, it's if I had to put money on it, I'd say it's something to do with the town folk. Might not be right, but what I got from that, I'd say it was it's just the couple get banged and this dog appears in a basket.
Right.
Everyone's
I
dealt
think
with.
Probably the town was in on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it makes sense. There's different narratives you can spin on it, but you know, and I don't like to relate back to like movies. Like I mentioned earlier, it sounds like kind of a Stephen Kingish type crazy. Yeah. And you know, a lot of the things that he does is the town is always the guilty party. That's what it seems like, and I'm just throwing that out there. But yeah, I mean, regardless of the situation, it's a sad story.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. It's not something that you want to hear or even like firsthand. Like you got firsthand chat evidence of what happened.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I spoke to the guy on the phone 2 times, and I've got like 2 or 3 emails, and I'm like, this, you know, and when someone tells me a story, I'm not this guy that's going to vet you to the bone, you know, because what happened to me, I don't need that with what happened to me. What happened. So I give everybody an opportunity to tell their experience, and you know, it's up to the audience to embrace it or say, yeah, I don't know. But that's why I do what I do, because I'm not going to judge people. And I tell you what, I will tell you this, I'm very confident in something happened. Did it go down exactly the way it was told to me? I'm thinking a lot of evidence that could incriminate this person or this town was left out.
Yeah. Because the last thing you're going to do is tell a story and put yourself up for it.
Yeah, and again, a lot of people that tell me the story, they're not getting 15 minutes of fame. They're not getting paid. I mean, you know, I think for a person, especially with the people I talk to, you know, you're putting a lot of time into something and not getting a dime out of it. So there's something that's bothering certain people, right? And they just have to get it off their chest. And maybe this guy was repenting for something that he didn't want to fully admit to, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he knew all along what was happening. I don't know.
Maybe that's why you went to that town. But he's not going to admit that. You know, well, the reason I went here is because this shitstorm was going on, and I wanted to go in and sort it out. Realised I couldn't. People started dying. I was getting out of there. It doesn't look good, does it?
I would like to follow his path of all these places. How many people ended up 6 feet under?
Well, yeah. See what breadcrumbs he's left behind. There's got to be some, aren't there?
Yeah.
There's got to be some.
I'm sure there is, man. I don't have the time of day to investigate this. I like to turn this over to the proper. This would be good.
Yeah.
A great young um, investigative journalist. This would be something that they should go run
Yeah.
down to that town.
Yeah, but then are they going to get caught up in it and something bad happen to them?
Oh, that's another thing, man. There's so many avenues we can go with that.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
But anyway, then that's a heart. That's one of the stories of the many that I've gotten sent to me that really hit me in a in a in a bad way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I if you don't mind, man, I'll change it up a little bit because I had talked to this
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
woman. This encounter is in book 2, and I had this lady I talked to, again, a person I talked to in depth and interviewed her, and I got to tell you, this is about alien abduction.
Oh.
So yeah, we're going from evil cryptids to alien abduction, and I like we were talking backstage. The reason why I've tried to evolve my show and making more variety with all these things, whether it's cryptids, the paranormal, aliens, ghosts, I think they're all connected in some way, some strange way. I think it's all kind of connected, right?
Yeah.
We've heard the stories, orbs over the wood line and the Bigfoot appears. You see a UFO, then, a mile up the road, there was a Bigfoot, but
Yeah.
but this is something that I'm really doing a lot more alien UFO stuff on the channel. And in fact, I've got Chrissy Newton coming on Tuesday night. For
Oh.
those who don't know Chrissy Newton, she has a show on Travel Channel talking about, and she interviews people about alien abduction.
Yeah.
And it's you can see that on the Travel Channel, I think it is. She'll be on to talk about that on Tuesday. Then I've got another UFO person coming on the following week. So I'm mixing it up a little bit. And this one here, man, I gotta tell you, kind of creepy. Aren't they all creepy though, right?
Oh yeah.
So I'm talking to this lady off and on for a while,
Yeah.
and she goes on, she sends me this email, and she leaves me her phone number. I read this email, Andy, and I've got to call this lady. She lives in the States. I call her, we start talking. So she tells me that ever since a child, right around the age of 5 or 6, she's starting having these very bizarre dreams, right? And they were going on and on for several years. And every night she would wake up, she would be crying and running her mom and dad's bedroom,
Yeah.
saying that, she was visited by these strange people, as she would say. And she told mom and dad this really happened. I just don't, there, of course, the mom and dad, like most mom and dads do, they say that, hey, you're having a nightmare, bad dream, and again, let's face it, everybody in chat and everybody listening as kids, when your kids run to you, especially at the age of 5, 6, or 7, we always write it off as, telling our kids it's a nightmare, it's a bad dream. But I guess this continued to go on for a couple of years of this young lady's life, girl's life, right? And then she was telling me in these dreams, and these dreams, by the way, Andy, started at the age of 5 or 6, and they also kept continually going into her adulthood throughout
Oh.
her marriage.
Wow.
5 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old, always the same things. And when she finally was more cognizant and older to try to put this together, she always had this feeling that she was on a spacecraft.
Yeah.
Okay. She'd always be in her bed, obviously, every night before bed. And then she would wake up, not wake up, excuse me. She would be during the dream, always be lying on this like gurney or this medical table.
Yeah.
And she would be in this room with white walls. And she sensed that she was on a craft, could not, there was no windows, did not know that, but had
Yeah.
that eerie feeling, but made her more eerie and thought this way is because there was always, as she explains to me, 4 alien grays. She says they were very tall. They looked like the alien grays that we're all familiar with from images that we've all seen.
Yeah.
There would be like 2 on the side of the gurney, 1 on each side of the gurney. There would be 1 at the end of the gurney and another one kind of standing off in the distance. And the one at the end of the gurney had this apparatus in its hands, like some sort of surgical instrument. Not a scalpel, nothing that any of us are familiar with, so some weird object.
Yeah.
And she felt that this alien being, which she said they were like 8 foot tall. They looked like the Greys. They're tall, slender, oversized head, oversized eyes, look like the alien Grey. And she always sensed that this creature, this alien at the end of the gurney or whatever she was laying on the table, was working on her private area. Didn't feel probing, but got that idea that that's where this alien was performing something. What it was, no idea. Even as a kid and even as a young woman in adulthood, not an idea. This lady goes on to tell me she has 3 daughters in life. As she ended up getting married, he had 3 daughters, beautiful daughters, all blonde, all blue eyes. And then this, however, though, this took an effect on her marriage and her children because she once again, like a child of 5 or 6, would always wake up in the middle of the night with the husband now and tell him the exact same stories that she told her mom and dad as a young girl. The husband would hear these every night, or I don't know how many times it went on throughout the night, but they were very frequent. And she went on and told her daughters about these things. It got to the point where the husband divorced the woman. He said, "Hey, listen, I got to take you to a psychiatrist, to a doctor," which they agreed upon. And there was nothing abnormal that was found by the doctor or the psychiatrist. They gave her Then they started putting on medication. After a while of taking the medication, she did, no, this is not right. It's blocking my brain. This is not right. So she got off the medications, which I guess kind of helped her with the apprehension or the anxiety, but it did not matter. She would still have these dreams. So the daughters kind of said, "Mom, we're stepping back from you a little bit. You need some help." So one day she wakes up, this woman, and she had like long hair, and she had blonde hair herself, much like her 3 daughters.
Yeah.
And she reached in the back of her neck. She had this feeling in the back of her neck, and she felt these 8, excuse me, not 4, 8 like bumps, almost like nodules on the back of her neck, very distinctly, were on the back of her neck. And she could count each one with her finger, and they went down. And she's worried that she had some growth, some sort of, well, not cancer, but just a growth. Went to the doctor. She went in. The doctor took x-rays. And the doctor's office, they seen them. They did a biopsy on them, pulled out of all 8. They took a little DNA or whatever whatever they do on a biopsy. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, right?
Yeah.
And they reported back that it's just a strange growth, but it's not cancerous. It's not cancer. although they would tell this woman that they really could not pinpoint or tell her what it was, and they said, "Look," and then this woman was conscious about it and says, "Can you just remove them then?" And they told her at this point, "We don't feel that we should. I mean, it's not endangering your life, and we don't
No.
want to mess. We don't want to perform surgery around the back of your neck and by your spinal column because you
Yeah.
went down close to the top of the spine, right?"
Right.
So no, if you could just, it's there. They said think about it as like a beauty mark or a like we all have, the different.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, whatever. So she was with the husband. Again, they end up splitting up because she would still have these bad dreams. So she's now single, living by herself, and she's laying in her bed. And this woman says she never sleeps, suffered from sleep deprivation because she was just scared every time she went to bed with these continuing nightmares. One night at the edge of the bed at night, she didn't have the dreams, which she was relieved, but then at the same time, all of a sudden, standing there was the tall alien gray at the edge of her bed,
Mm.
in her bedroom. And then she's thinking to herself out loud, am I dreaming? Am I going back to my dream? But it's a different variation of the dream. All of a sudden, this alien gray, Andy, and everyone listening, telepathically communicates, no, you're not dreaming. I am real and I am here. You've been abducted by us ever since you were a young girl. Telepathically, it explains that those nodules on the back of your neck, they were there from us because that represents your hybrid alien children, which we've been incubating from your female parts and growing them into hybrid children. They went on to say you've had 8 hybrid children. 7 we discarded. 7 we've discarded. They were of no use to us. In other words, Andy, terminated.
Yeah.
But there's one that is your daughter that is currently on the planet, and you're going to visit her very soon. You're going to visit her. She's going to pay you a visit. You're going to
Yeah.
meet her. Whoa. She's like, what? Whoa. Breaks up. Thinks she's waking up from a dream, and this alien disappears. Now this woman is frantic. She's frightened. Calls the husband, calls the daughters, mom, ex-wife, go get help. And so this family kind of, again, man, kind of blows her off.
Yeah. Just dismiss
I don't,
it.
I can see the husband maybe fed up with it. He's probably a dick, but not the 3 daughters, man. That's your mom we're talking about.
Yeah.
The daughters should have got together to help the mother. So she's lost. She's alone. She's actually seen something in her bedroom, tells her she's had 8 kids, 7 were terminated, one is living currently. You're going to run into her and meet her. So this woman, and she lost several jobs, could not, she ended up being, she was telling me, on, welfare, couldn't hold a job because she just could not deal with reality in life. Her mom and dad, you would think, I asked her, turn to your mom and dad for help. They're both deceased. She's lost. She's alone. Ex-husband, 3 daughters wrote her off. Terrible story, man. Terrible.
Yeah.
So several months later, after having this, alien at the edge of her bed telling her all this, the dreams stop. She's relieved. 3 months go on, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, up to a year, not a dream. But always in the back of her mind, she remembers her dreams, and she also remembers that this alien that paid her a visit said you will meet your hybrid daughter. But now, though, Andy, a year goes by, no dreams, life's good. She's kind of feeling confident about herself. Can you hear her life together a little bit?
Yeah.
She's single, of course. And she's having dinner by herself at a restaurant.
Yeah.
She's at a table. She's getting her cocktail sent to her, her entree delivered. She looks across the room in 4 or 5 tables up to her left off the aisleway. There's this beautiful blonde girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Younger woman, 20s, 30s. Beautiful long blonde hair, blue eyes. And she's looking at this woman and very much so resembled her 3 daughters. So, and she's thinking in her mind, this could be like one of my kids.
Yeah.
But then she is telling me that there was something a little odd about this beautiful woman. She looked like a porcelain doll. There was like a model. There was just not a flaw in this glowing white, pale white face. She said, the brilliant blue eyes.
Yeah.
Something, that you could make today, we would call it AI. And she told me the story well before AI came out, right? So she's thinking now, she remembers back with that alien encounter, saying that she would eventually run into and meet her hybrid alien kid. Now her mind is thinking, oh boy, I think this may be my hybrid child. So she's watching this woman, at her eating dinner by herself. Then this woman gets up. And she gets up and walks wherever she's walking. So the woman gets up and follows this young lady. Now this young lady goes into the bathroom.
Yeah.
Goes into the bathroom, and she says she goes into the stall at the far end of the bathroom. Shuts the door, locks the door, whatever, sits down, doing her business. So this woman, she's in the bathroom waiting for this lady to emerge from the stall to confront her and just, I guess, flat out ask her, hey, listen, blah, blah, blah. You're going to think I'm crazy, but so this is what's going on in this woman's mind, thinking how to confront this person. So she says 3 minutes, 4 minutes go by, more than enough time to take care of your business. And she says, well, I'm going to the end of the stall. So she looks under the stall, Andy, and everyone listening, and she kind of peeks underneath and doesn't see legs or feet on the bottom of the floor.
Yeah.
So she goes, well, hell with this. And she tries to open the door. Gets the door to the stall open. There's nobody in there. Vanished. Now, during this 3 or 4 minute time period, she says, Rob, nobody came into the bathroom. She's definitely did not leave the bathroom because I was there, eyes asphyxiated on the stall.
Yeah.
Vanishes. So now she leaves the bathroom, kind of perplexed, goes back to her sitting area in the restaurant, glances over at the table where she first saw this young lady, and the table is completely empty. And the new place settings are there. It's like nobody was even there. So she pays her check. She runs out. She runs into the parking lot, and she says she's running around the parking lot looking for, hopefully finding this young lady. Well, obviously nothing came about. She goes home. So she's up all day. She goes to bed that night.
Yeah.
Goes off, falls asleep, whatever the case may be. And then guess what appears now out of over a year at the edge of her bed? It's that alien gray. and says, "We're taking you tonight. We're taking you tonight to show you what you experienced." Something along
Right.
that lines. Terrified, she goes, "How am I supposed to fall asleep?" And the alien says, "You're going to fall asleep." And boom,
Done.
immediately she's asleep. Now, all of a sudden, Andy, she's back on this craft. She's not this time on the gurney, but she's in with the same four white walls, sitting up in some sort of chair. Same aliens. And the one alien telepathically says, "We're going to introduce you to your hybrid, your child."
Yeah.
And then coming out of the wall, approaching the gurney, or not the gurney, excuse me, the chair she's sitting in, all of a sudden formulates into the identical young lady that she saw the night at the restaurant. Looks at her, and now this time not telepathically like the alien gray.
Yeah.
It speaks. She speaks again. Beautiful. Looks like the blonde she saw, but very just so immaculate, right?
Yeah.
Verbiage speaks. "I am your hybrid child. I am one of the 8 that survived, and you are my mother." Then she goes on to say that, "Just to let you know, you will never see me again. I exist. You're not dreaming." And then she dissipates. This woman wakes up in her bed. And then she went on to tell me that ever since that night,
Yeah.
she has not had the dreams, have not reoccurred, has not seen this hybrid child again. And she goes, "It's been about 5 years and nothing. It's
Wow.
almost like it's over." The aliens used her to produce that one hybrid, put her through the tormenting for 30 years of these dreams,
Yeah.
making her life horrible. Can't hold a job, loses the husband, 3 daughters, want nothing to do with her. And for what, man? And then she wakes up and, hey, listen, that's it. And she goes, she has never dreamt it since. But she says, "Rob, I got to tell you, I can't handle it." She now, wherever she lives today, I don't know. And I got to tell you, Andy, I've heard a lot of, we've heard like a lot of abduction stories. If you follow
Yeah.
that, which are similar yet different. I got to tell you something, man. That's something, bro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. It's because Simon, who's in the chat, he's had obviously similar sort of thing, but on the male version, not female. Well, I don't want to tell his story, so he was on the 24-hour special, but I'm hoping he's going to come back on in the next few weeks or next couple of months, and he'll give it the credit that it deserves, as it's his accounts of what happened to him.
Yeah.
But it's very, very similar.
Well,
So
okay. Well,
I know which one's
that's somebody you're familiar with. I
yeah,
believe. I tell you what. This story. I believe. I tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I believe this story 100%.
yeah,
I really do, because I do believe in alien abduction. First of all, I believe that aliens exist. I believe there's abduction.
yeah.
There's just, what's the most famous one? Brett or guy off the top of my tongue, Walton. We've all
Oh,
heard that.
Travis, yeah,
And
Travis.
then there's the interracial couple, another one,
Betty and
Bernie.
Barney Hill.
Yeah,
Betty and
we've all
Barney
heard
Hill.
that.
Yeah,
And people, whenever you hear their accounts, they're always true to form. They're always the same. And there's so many shows out there that talk about, aliens and alien abduction, UFO shows are more popular, more prevalent than cryptids, right? And
oh
there's
yeah.
so many. Again, I'm a believer in this, and I don't believe people just make this stuff up. How could you?
No, no. I've seen stuff that's, and even now, I'd say it every single time I talk about it. Seen stuff, and in my head, I know what's happened. I remember it at the time, and I'll relive it when I'm telling the story. But when I'm sat here, either telling you or anyone else what I'm saying, I'm thinking, saying this sounds so stupid, but I know it's real.
Right.
It's like I've seen a metallic ball zip across the sky. It lit a electric blue horizontal line. The sky then lit up red vertically. It went through this rip in the sky, and then it all closed behind it.
Jeez, oh, peace, man.
Do you know what I mean? So it was as
No,
quick as that. It was as quick as I told it. There's nothing
no, it is that quick.
fancy about it.
Hey, listen, I believe. Hey, listen, I had I saw a UFO at 5 or 6, but
Yeah,
about 3 years ago, I'm standing outside and I'm looking in the sky. Because I look up now all the time, right?
yeah, same.
Looking up in the sky, and I see these 3. No, yeah, no, I took 3 photos, but it was this one object, and it was shaped kind of like a glowing, like orange, like half-shaped banana. That's how it looked like, right?
Yeah,
And I'm watching it, and it's in the distance. It's not the moon because the moon was prevalent in the distance, so it was a full moon. And I
yeah,
seen this orange thing. I'm looking at, and I really pay no attention. In fact, I'm outside. I'm at a restaurant. In fact,
yeah,
coincidence, no coincidence there. I'm outside. I'm looking, and I'm waiting for whoever to come back out. We're going home.
yeah,
And then I seen this thing dart, boom, 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 and I like, oh my lord. And I said, "What is this?" So I pull out my camera and I'm just firing off. I'm firing pictures off,
yeah,
but I'm watching it with my eyes, but just have my camera of my phone just kind of taking off pictures, hoping I get it. And I captured 3 images, and this thing, it went at one spot, went down, went over, and went off again. And I know it wasn't natural. Now it could have been a governmental,
yeah.
as they say
Like
today,
a prototype.
UAP. It could
Yeah,
have been pro. Don't know what that was, but it was that fast. I just told just like you. I just said that in like what 90 seconds, and
yeah,
it was all 5 seconds. But it was unusual to me. It was strange to me. People say paranormal. All paranormal is something unknown to us. That's all that
yeah,
word really means.
yeah. I actually looked it up, and it means something that science can't explain.
Okay,
Is
yeah,
the full?
kind of,
That's the full
yeah,
term. So same
yeah,
thing, but
yeah.
different way of saying it. So, but it is. It's. I've had UFO about 150 foot above my head when I was about 8 years old. Jessica Jones, as I know you know, she did a remote view for me. She could see that I'd been contacted in the past, and I either have had, do have, or will have a UFO implant. And I did pull something out my nose a few years ago that then vanished. I've talked about all of these different things that have gone on, but I've had a few different UFOs. There's one, the same thing, silver, looked like a ball bearing. Someone just placed it in the sky. Seen it one morning. Yeah, I thought, bit weird. Went out the next morning to do the same thing that I'd done the day before, and I thought, oh, see if that thing's there, expecting it not to be there, and it was there. And that's when I got the cold shivers and realised that it was observing me. And it's like, yeah, I'm getting straight back in the house. I knew out of everyone that it could see, it was watching me. And that was the same time that I pulled this thing out my nose that I believe was some sort of alien implant.
Man,
It's just messed up. Honestly, they're the shortened versions, but I do talk about them in detail on previous shows. And no doubt I will do again. But
yeah. I'll have to have you. Down the road, you'll have to tell that on my show. That'd be pretty cool.
yeah, cool. Anytime.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's something I like to hear more about because I got to tell you,
It's crazy.
those implants. You hear those stories too. People have, and science can't tell you what it is. Yeah, I don't know what it's not natural. Don't know how it got there. You know
No.
what I mean?
Well, at the time, I'd had 2 operations. First one, I was 6. I had my tonsils removed. and the second one I had a vasectomy about 16 years ago, and this happened about 12 years ago. So, and neither of them were anything to do with what had gone on. It couldn't have been something that was left in the body and moved because it was in my nose. So yeah,
I don't even want
it's messed up. It's messed up.
Yeah, you know, I mean, especially the nose.
Yeah, I can still feel like it dips in a bit where it used to be. So
makes you wonder, man. You know, they put these things in other places that I'm not going to, bring up.
yep. Simon's just put, unless he turned the table around.
Yeah.
He could have done. I don't know. I was knocked out. But yeah, it's just, they don't make sense, do they? Just don't make sense.
None of this does. That's why I love doing it so much, because it doesn't make sense. It's a mystery, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon.
No.
I mean, I think to do a YouTube channel or do the things that we do, it's not the most popular, right? If you want to talk politics, you could have a YouTube channel, have 1 million subscribers if you want to talk politics.
Football, soccer.
But screw politics. I'm not interested in it, right? I mean, I want to do something that I'm interested in. And plus, like I said, I've seen ghosts, I've seen Bigfoot, I've seen shadow people, I've seen stick figures, literally walking across a field, right? I've seen all sorts of weird stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. That's what I'm drawn to, right? And and many other people have, and most people don't really want to talk about it.
No.
Yeah, and I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah. We've got some questions for you, but I'm going to ask you the first one.
Okay.
This is one that I tend to ask everyone, especially when Nicole's on, because we have a difference of opinion.
Okay.
So if would you, given the opportunity, would you want to find out what all the paranormal is, what it's about, why it's here, why it's happening? But once you find out, there is no more knowledge to know. Or are you happy to keep trying to work it out yourself?
Well, if there was no more knowledge to learn, yeah, I don't like that. I like the mystery behind it.
Yeah, that's me.
I don't.
I like the searching.
Number one, if that was figured out, I wouldn't have a channel anymore.
Exactly,
because we have the answers. But even more so, I love the mystery. I don't want to. In my lifetime, I don't want it proven that Bigfoot exists.
No,
I want to keep that a mystery.
I'd like him to admit it does exist, but then in the next sentence, but we don't know what it is. I like that, but we don't know. It's like, yes.
If we found one, but did not know where it came from, and all the mystery behind it, that's one thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not pro kill Bigfoot either. Because I think we've all heard people say that, you got to kill one and, dissect it, figure it out. I don't think I want to do that. I wouldn't shoot one for sure, because I think there's a human element behind Bigfoot, man.
Yeah. No, I do get why they would need to do that, to like find the DNA and the structure and stem cell, and
I get that.
Well, I understand that, but it's still not.
But I will tell you, yeah, I think that's inhumane. But I will tell you this: I think that we already have one. I think that the government ABCs, the red and blue people. I think there's a Bigfoot that has been in captivity, and I think that they've probably been dissected, and I think that they already know what they are and that they exist, but they're never going to divulge that.
No, I think there's more than one.
There's more than one, and there's more than one. I think they're like human beings, man. I think there's different cultures and species and nationalities, if you will, and there's more than yeah, there's a whole. I think they're. I think they exist, but I also think they're paranormal at the same time.
Yeah. Right. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 6 questions in 15 minutes. Is that right?
Okay, yeah, that's cool, man. Fire it up.
Right. So this one's from Og, moderator. Thank you for modding Elaine. So Rob, listening to all these encounters, would you say they are paranormal, related, or flesh and blood?
I think they're both, man. You know, I don't want to say I'm not copying out with the answer because I seen a Bigfoot. I seen it metamorphosis into what I thought something was paranormal, which I called a demon. Now today, that was in 2018. I don't think Bigfoot is a demon. I don't think what I experienced was a demon. But what I saw, Andy, was full flesh and blood that metamorphosized into something out of a, you know, a ghost book, man. It did not look right. So also how can you account for how they can vanish, how they can cloak, how they can be in one place in an instance and then all of a sudden they transport
Yeah.
to another. I think they utilize dimensions, portals. I think that I think there's a flesh and blood entity. You know, if you go back and talk about, there are certain people out there that are totally no. I'm not in the ape camp to answer that. I do not believe they're just some dumb ape roaming the earth. I think they have an
No.
intelligence. I think they're a socialized animal, and I don't even mean to say animal. A human hybrid, maybe a human hybrid, a being. And I like using being because there's that paranormal element. I was talking with Ron Moorhead. Most people that follow Bigfoot know who Ron Moorhead is.
Yeah.
And back 30 years ago, he said, Rob, if you would come to me and say that and mention the woo and mention that you think Bigfoot is a trans-dimensional or dimensional creature, he said, young man, I'm not talking to you. Bigfoot is a flesh and blood, ape. I've talked to him twice. He's been on the show 3 times in the last 3 years. He goes, Rob, Bigfoot is more than just it's got supernatural abilities. He even goes, Ron Moorhead now, everybody, Sierra Sounds, goes as far to say that he might even suspect part of the Bigfoot community, if you will, meaning the Bigfoots, are alien.
See, that's where I'm going. I'm starting going back down that track.
Man, Dogman is not flesh and blood. You have the Dogman that has the hawk legs with the head of a German Shepherd that exists, but the ones that people call on today and see today, running upright like a human being, like you and I, come on, man. Maybe more of a werewolf than anything else, or a shapeshifter. I mean, who?
Yes.
That's why I love doing this, man. There's no right or wrong answer. There's no experts.
No, 100% on that. Totally agree. Yeah. Right. Next question. Again. So the Bigfoot that you seen, was it in Michigan where you saw it?
Yeah. In fact, it was in Cadillac, Michigan, and it was in the county of Wexford, and it was also in the the national forest, the Manistee National Forest. Which, by the way, the Manistee National Forest, Wexford County, number 1, is the capital of dogman sightings in my state. Mine was a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Cadillac's in Wexford. And I saw it on the lake from the shoreline, right?
Yeah.
And I just did a story yesterday on haunted Manistee National Forest, where and if you can picture the state of Michigan, and we have Lake Michigan to the west, Lake Huron to the east, then you got Superior in the north, Erie at the south. The Manistee National Forest encompasses Lake Michigan all the way across Lake Erie, about 300 miles north of me, and I live just outside of Detroit. It's our biggest national forest outside of the Upper Peninsula. And there's what goes on there, Dogman, Bigfoot, tribal legends with cursed lands. Curses that were cast upon this forest in the 1600s, the 1700s. I just did a show I'm doing a show tonight on it at midnight, But I did a story earlier about a dog man that happened to be in that vicinity, close to where my encounter was, that was cursed by First Nations.
Oh.
And so everything, we got creepy stuff in Michigan.
Yeah.
And Dogman's one of them, and so is the Bigfoot, where I did have my encounter in Michigan.
Yeah, you can keep a lot of that stuff.
Oh,
You can
dude, let me
keep
tell
all the
you, man,
weird stuff.
it's so weird. I have the weird state. We have haunted lighthouses, haunted shorelines. There's a creature that comes from the shores of Lake Huron and snatches babies. Yeah,
Ew.
there's a lot of, I mean, I don't know how true that is. It's more, well, it's folklore, but I will say this too about folklore really quickly. I know I'm rambling on. There's an element of truth behind all folklore stories.
Oh yeah, 100%, definitely.
They came from somewhere and they weren't made up.
Yeah,
Maybe embellished over the years, but they were fact and truth back when it started.
Yeah.
The origin is the truth.
Yeah, there's a baseline of truth.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Next question from Fred Flintstone. Hi, Rob. Do you think there's a connection between UFOs and cryptids?
Again, like early in the show, I think it's all connected, man. I'm not saying that just because there's UFO, there's a Bigfoot. No, but I'm thinking it's more. I don't believe in coincidences, but how many times have you heard stories about there was the orbs in the tree line, then a Bigfoot emerged from the tree line, or there was a UFO sighting, 3 miles up the forest line, and oh yeah, there's a Bigfoot. I'm not saying I'm not saying that the UFOs are throwing them on the planet or nothing. I just think they're connected. I think everything vibrates on a certain frequency. And I think these cryptid creatures, these UFOs, they're on a frequency and a vibration that are greater than yours or mine, right?
Yeah.
And I think, we didn't even talk about that. Of course, talk about the stories, but frequency and vibration. I only started learning this stuff like 2 years ago. Frequency and vibration, man. That is the key to all of this. It's the key.
Yeah, definitely. That completely agree with. I've started getting deeper into frequency and vibration, and it just seems that everything, it just comes back to that. Doesn't matter what you are talking about, even in normal, not just paranormal.
Normal life.
Yeah.
I started picking up on this. My best friend, love him to death, known him since I was 13. Every time he calls me, right around the same time, he's driving home from work. He's a truck driver, bitching about traffic. Negative vibes I get. And he puts me, I finally realized I was depressed every time I stopped talking. Every time I talk to my buddy, again, love him to death. But how come every time I talk to this guy, I feel like, I was hit by a lead truck, a cement truck.
Yeah.
Because of his negative vibe, man. That aura. I said, dude, don't call me no more when you drive home from work because I don't like you. And I get in a bad mood. Really. I mean, but I think that applies with day-to-day life and with these beings, right? This phenomena.
You can walk into a building, a house, a pub, a restaurant, and straight away you're like, I don't want to be here, or oh, this is good, I like it in here. Never been in there before in your life. And the energy, you can feel the energy straight away.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
I mean, you walk into I don't care who it is, you walk into a funeral parlor for a loved one. I don't know about you, Andy, but I get such negative vibes when I walk in there.
I've been in one once.
I don't go no more.
Yeah, it wasn't greatest day, but it's just one of them, innit? Sometimes it happens.
For sure.
Yep. Right. Next question is from Sunny11. Oh, this one's to me. Can we see your new healed tattoo? So I've had the logo done, and I've got the
it's pretty cool.
8 runes around it. But that one looks like a Bluetooth symbol. Just the bottom bit missing. So yeah.
I was thinking about getting my logo of my channel tattooed on me, but I have so
Yeah.
many logos. I don't know which one to go with.
Mm.
But then again, I don't want to walk. One of my logos is a picture of my face. I don't know that I want that on my body.
Just have it.
Just kind
Have your
of this little narcissistic
have your face tattooed on
on
your
my
face.
face. Yeah, you know.
That'd be awesome. That really would. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I got the BMR emblem. Was just kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah. Get that. Get like the back of your wrist or somewhere.
Yeah, I was thinking about my right shoulder. I don't know.
I was going to say shoulder as well, but yeah, well, wherever you want it. You might have it there,
Well,
and we don't know because you always wear the bandanas.
well, yeah, I know. Well, you know, I shave my head. I don't want to show off my beautiful locks.
Yeah. Right. Next question. Oh, for me,
Hey, really quickly, would that be cool
Yeah.
if Fisher Spam says get the QRC code tattooed?
I
Then would
was
that mean
thinking
that then I could go up to people with their phone and go subscribe to my channel?
Yeah.
Here, just hit, just scan my QRC code and you're subscribed to the channel.
I was thinking of getting the QR code done, but
Yeah.
just a little one. Like, do you like on that bit? Just there.
Right.
Yeah. So, but what if you don't get it quite right and it ends up someone else's channel?
Oh
or something
man,
completely different.
You'd be effed. And you know how much money it costs to get it erased, laser erased. Oh
Yeah.
God, it's something I don't want to go through, man.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't get it done.
It takes me a good year or two to research the tattoo before I place it because it's not going away.
That's it. Every tattoo I've got, it's like because I've got these ones. So I've got the mugger shit, and I've got the two smaller ones. Then I've got the grey. Then I've got the Bigfoot on my middle finger.
Oh yeah, that's a cool one. Yeah.
Then the Eye of Horus, same as the pineal gland on my thumb. But I think I should have had that way. So then when I do that,
yeah, right.
See
my new tattoo?
Still worked. Yeah. But I might get it done on the other hand the right way around. So.
Actually, having a tat on your middle finger is kind of cool because when you flip the person off, you're just showing your tattoo. I'm not flipping you off. I just want you to see my tattoo, but you really but you're really flipping the bird,
Yeah, exactly that. Right. Next question. If a UFO landed and an alien looked like Jodie Comer and said, "Come with me," would you go and why? So, Jodie Comer, is she the other one that's running for presidency?
I don't know who Jodie Comer is.
No. But I'm not very well up on American politics, so that's why I'm guessing.
Well, no, that Trump won. He's already in office. He beat Kamala Harris.
Oh, right. No, not her.
I don't know who Jodie Comer is. I will tell you this. If a hot chick emerged from a UFO and said, "Come with me," I'm going on that UFO with her.
Even if it was Norman Bates, I'd still get on. I want to go on a UFO.
No, I don't know if I wouldn't follow Norman Bates anywhere, man.
You would or wouldn't?
I would not. I want to live.
All right. I'd just go for the ride, if nothing else.
Well, no, it would be cool. Well, if you look at it that perspective, just go on a craft would be sweet as hell. But now with Norman Bates, because I'd want to be looking at the galaxy and not over my shoulder if he's going to slit my throat.
Yeah. I suppose. Yes, I will get on it. Yes, she's an actress. She is in Killing Eve. Oh, it's her out of Killing Eve. Scouse Girl. The Liverpudlian. Right. Yeah, I know it is now.
I'm gonna look her up later after the show.
She's in Free Guy with is it Ben Affleck?
I'm not a Ben fan.
No, but we was talking about Free Guy the other night because it's very like paranormally-esque.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah. So it's the English girl out of Killing Eve.
Oh no, I'm gonna look her up once we're done here a little bit.
Yeah. You'd go on a UFO. Like I said, I go on a UFO with anyone just to go on a UFO.
Right, I would go on well, actually, realistically, I would go on a UFO. Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Right. Next question. Rob, do you have any Frogman stories, Owlman, also the Great Lakes Triangle?
No Frogman, no Owlman, but yes, bunches about the Great Lakes Triangle.
Cool. Well, we would have to get you on again to talk about that because
Yeah,
I'm
I'd have
guessing
to. I'd have to
it's
pull those up, and it probably anytime. If you notice, I did 2 stories. It took 2 hours almost. You know.
well, yeah, but you know, it's good because it's the amount of detail that go
Yeah.
into, and then it's the chatting about it afterwards.
Yeah, when I tell a story or an encounter, people say, Robbie tells story, it sounds fake.
Yeah.
Well, I say story just because it's an encounter, it's someone's encounter story, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And and you cannot leave out the detail because the detail makes the story. Yeah, everybody wants to get to okay, what happened, what they see, But yeah, there's a buildup in every story. You got to present it in a way that keeps the people interested leading up to the eventual climax, as they say.
Yes. Yes. Right. Last question is for me, but I'm going to send it to you as well, Rob.
Sure.
So it's for Granzier again. Andy, silly question. What was your favourite UFO show? Did you like the old BBC series UFO that used to come on PBS in the 70s in the States? I like it. I remember UFO. I'm not old enough to watch it from like first time round, but Doctor Who was a good one. Even though it's not UFO as such, but he's a Time Lord and he's in a telephone box and it's traveling, so technically it's a UFO. You ever watch The Prisoner? Where they're on the little island and there's like this ball thing that stops them escaping.
Are you asking me that?
Yeah.
I never seen The Prisoner. I've never heard of it actually.
They made a movie of it a few years ago. It was set in I think it's Port Maddock in Wales. It's like a little village. And they got sent there and everyone had a different number. And the phrase was "I'd be seeing you." And it had like a little umbrella was their emblem. And like, you are such a body, you are not such a body, you are number 2 or you are number 3. And
Oh
they'd
wow.
always talk on the phone or they'd sit in a chair and very rare you'd see the person. It was like UFO, it was that sort of TV show.
Okay.
They did a couple of reruns few years back.
Okay.
So there's that stuff, like the event. Patrick McGowan, that was it.
Okay.
His ex, I think he was like MI6, and then the opening credits is he gassed him through the letterbox. He put him in a coffin in the back of a hearse, took him to this little village, and then he could never escape. But they'd have different people going in each week. Yeah, it's just weird. It's messed up, but good.
That seems pretty weird.
Yeah, but it's like that kind of stuff. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's more movies, UFO movies.
Yeah, I will tell you this.
shows.
I saw Close Encounters for the Third Kind like 3 years ago. I liked that a lot. I never saw the BBC series UFO. Unfortunately, I don't see a lot of PBS or BBC. But and I will say UFO for a UFO show as a kid, I liked just as a kid, I liked Lost in Space. Okay, I liked that. It was one. When it comes, I just started really researching UFOs a year and a half, 2 years ago to broaden the channel, right? George Nuri, man. No, excuse me, George Knapp. I've been on YouTube. I've been following him when he was a young guy in the 1970s.
Yeah.
I get a lot of information for him, and he had a series that he did back in the 70s, which I've been following. UFO shows, I can't say that I followed really any.
No.
But the movies, I go back and rewatch Star Wars now, only because a lot of the creatures and aliens in Star Wars, believe it or not, if you watch, some people were telling me those are actual aliens from other planets.
I've got a story about that. So, Earl Grey Anderson?
Yeah.
he's friends with Paul Hynek, and Paul and I can't remember his brother's name. Their father was the guy who did Project Blue Book, and so they was all into that stuff, and he was friends with Steven Spielberg, and Paul was saying that we come home from school and Steven Spielberg would be sat at the table and they'll be sat there having dinner. But Earl Grey's mum also worked for, he's open, he talks about it, but she worked for some secret government agency, and they spoke about stuff, and he kept asking his mum all this stuff, and she goes, she just come up with excuses. She start telling me something and then like backtrack on it and cut him off, so he never get anywhere with it. And I think he said he got to like about 18, 19, and he goes, "Oh, then." So his mum turned around to him one day and went, "All them questions that you keep asking me, I can say one thing." And he goes, "Star Wars is a lot more close to the truth than you could ever imagine."
I believe that. You know what else I believe? And I never would have thought this years ago. We're closer to the Jetsons cartoon series than ever before.
Well, yeah.
I think we're going to be flying around a craft. Maybe not you and I. We might be dead. I'd like to be alive when that happens, because that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I believe that.
It would be nice.
That'd be cool as hell, man.
Yeah. Be easy to get over to the US.
Plus, it'd be cheaper.
Yeah.
I can fly over the UK in probably 30 minutes.
Exactly.
Just on.
And the thing is, all the best people on the East Coast, so it's easy. I don't have to travel right over the other side of the US.
Yeah.
Even though there are some cool people.
I just don't want to go over the moat. I don't want to go over the moat.
Yeah. It's like 3,000 miles wide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's good. It's been great having you on. They always is.
Oh, I know. It's great. Yeah. I can't believe we did 2+ hours already. That's fun. I love it.
I know. And it doesn't even feel like that long since we last spoke.
No, when I have a good time with certain people, you're one of them. It's like, boy, where time go? You're on a long time ago. I just had a guest on, and that I said, I can't believe it's been a year.
Yeah.
You know what sucks about getting in your 50s? Time flies by, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Time flies by. I remember in grade school, first grade through like senior year in high school, it seemed like it took 100 years to graduate and get out of school.
Yeah.
And now, it's just like, oh boy, time goes by.
Blink and months, years, millenniums.
I remember in grade school, they said, what year is it going to be when you turn 30? And I remember in grade school calculating it. And as a kid, I'm like, wow, I'm going to be an old man when I turn 30. But that's like forever away.
Yeah.
Then I woke up one day, I was 30.
Yeah, it's like, because I turned 30 in 2003. 2003. I was born in 73, so 2003.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's going to be the next century when I turn 30.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I know.
Yeah, I don't want to think that far ahead, man. You
I
and I share the same birthday, we found out. Same date.
Same day, 6 years apart.
January 27th, both of us were born. Yeah.
Yep. Best day ever.
I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah, God.
I know. It's cool. It is. It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, man. Yeah, it is.
So, because we're into the same stuff, we both got a YouTube channel, and
yeah, right. It all rings through, and
friends.
you find, we're good. We're buddies, and and what I love about doing the YouTube thing, I got more friends through YouTube than in my life, my personal life.
Yeah,
because it's common traits, it's common beliefs, a great belief system, and people know that we're not full of shit, and really,
Yeah.
Although I still have my friends from earlier in my life, but yeah, man.
Same. Yeah.
It's all good. It's a pleasure to come on. Yeah, I just gonna. Yeah, I mean that's
No, thank you for
outstanding.
coming on. I think as well that you've come on tonight and not last week, because you'd have got the shit bit of me, of like, I'd been awake at that point for like 40, 38, 39 hours. So I'd have been,
Well, yeah. See, you got the best. See, you saved the best for. Well, I'm not gonna say that. You got a good
yeah,
guest for last when
but
you're
it's,
awake, right?
yeah,
And you got your viewers are in. I'd imagine when you run a 24-hour stream, people are just popping in and out, kind of like going to grandma's Thanksgiving dinner. You pop in and out, grab a slice of turkey, and you're out the door. To when I was married, man, it sucked because I had to go to everybody's house.
yeah,
My mom and dad, her mom and dad's, and you could never enjoy yourself.
no.
Now I don't do that no more. One place and that's it.
Yeah, I have to go to some, but
Well,
if it's on a Friday, it's like, sorry, doing a live stream. Don't book me in for a
Oh yeah.
Friday.
Oh, the only day I take off on Thursday is Thanksgiving because I don't do a show on Thursday because I do my things. My Thanksgiving starts at 10 in the morning, man.
Was it?
And then I watch the Lions
Yeah,
at noon and do my thing. Yeah.
cool.
Now tonight, everybody listening, I'm on midnight. If you people are up at 8 in the morning from the UK,
Yes, and I will put your book links back up
oh,
again.
thank you. Yeah, that's awesome.
Book 1, book 2.
Yeah, for everybody listening, I've got 2 books out. All you need to do is they're both on Amazon. Type Bigfoot Mission Rob on your Amazon browser. They're both there if you care to buy them. Thank you if you do. If you don't, you don't. That's cool just as well.
Buy them.
But my YouTube channel is simply called Bigfoot Michigan Rob. I'm about 180 away from 5,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, please do me a favor and subscribe. I got a lot of the same content as Andy, and hopefully you liked my stories. We do 3 live shows per week, and I do live stories every weekend, not live a video. So yeah, you guys join the few, join the many.
Yeah. Oh, can I just do a quick shameless plug for me?
Yeah, absolutely.
I am 10 subscribers away from 1,500.
Well, that's awesome.
So
No,
if you'd like to subscribe, it
yeah.
would more than help the channel grow.
Well, certainly, people in the chat room. Well, the thing is, a lot of people are listening that aren't in the chat room. I got to imagine most of your chat room people are subs.
A lot of people watch on TV, so you can't interact, you can't like, you can't do anything, like we were saying before.
Yeah, I do watch. I will tell you this: when I'm just chilling, and I've got my favorite YouTube, channel on or a channel, I watch it on the TV. I kick back my recliner. I can't watch a show on my phone or on the computer. It's too uncomfortable. I pull up my phone in my hand to chat because you're right. On the TV, you can't chat on the TV. You can't.
No. See, it's like, because I've got 2 monitors, I can spin one round and watch it like in the chair or in bed. But then I do it through the Fire Stick.
Oh, you
I just put it on play and leave it, and then end up it's still on when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah. I'll end up waking up. I'll end up waking up in the morning with my phone in my hand if I've been in a chat room, and if I watch it like late at night or something.
Yeah.
And then my battery's drained.
Yeah, the missus does that I'd say 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, it's last one. This is from Granzia. If you could do this would be awesome. If BMR plugs Andy Decodes on his chat tonight and his mods can post Andy's channel, maybe BMR can help you get over 1,500.
Well, if BMR plugs Andy Codes. Well, yeah, no, I plug it in.
I was going to say you do anyway a lot of the time.
I do a lot. I don't do everybody. I do the Blondes and the Boos and Tex and me, and then if I remember them on your show, I plug it. And certainly.
That's if you don't mind. I just want to hit that 10 and then I'll shut up going on.
Well, I'll mention that tonight because I'm going on live tonight. I'll monitor your channel throughout today, and then I'll see where you're at. I'll do it regardless because I'll remember. Because I'm going to plug this show anyways. Then I'll say go over subscribe to Andy.
So you can watch back. Yeah,
I'll do that for you. Yeah,
nice
absolutely.
one. I appreciate it, Rob. Oh, just before you go, I am going out on an investigation tomorrow. I'm going to Cannock Chase obviously in the UK. So it's like Midlands. It's like Black Eyed Kids, UFOs, Dogmen, orbs. I've heard elementals there. We've seen orbs. We've had something rush Simon. You could feel it, couldn't see it. There's trolls that have been seen there.
Oh man, trolls!
The Pigman. You've got Pine Tower. You've got the German cemetery from World War One and World War Two, where there's a lot of Dogman sightings. So I'm going there tomorrow with my drone. I'm meeting up with couple of people there filming a documentary. So they're going to be filming and interviewing me while I am there. And they are on a week on Monday on the show. A guy called Ben and a guy called Ian.
Okay, cool. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that'll be fun. And then I no, I was trying to think of something. No, I got nothing really going on as far as that goes. But yeah, that'd be awesome, man. So yeah. Good luck on that one.
Oh shit. They ripped my ear off then, caught the wire. Isaac's just put about, he does a study of dreams, lucid dreaming, frequency plant, teaches DMT. I've got this guy coming on in a couple of weeks. Booked upside down, sorry. Adam Butler, DMT field guide.
Okay, cool.
And it's legal. Well, technically legal because every living creature creates it.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
No, that'd be a great show. Yeah, we all got good shows. You have great shows. I have good show. I mean, I'm not saying, just I got Chrissy Newton coming on next Tuesday night. She's awesome. She's on the Travel Channel. She's got a show on the Travel Channel, which is awesome. I'm excited for that one. Kind of nervous. I never had a celebrity on before.
Ooh, Caesar.
Yeah, I know.
You do. You have a celebrity on every night. Yourself.
Technically, well, oh boy, well, okay, we can end this now. Yes, I am Bigfoot Mystery Rob.
Exactly.
You can find me 3 nights a week. Thank you. Thanks. I had a great time, man.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So you look after yourself. We'll be in touch because I want to sort the books out with you and what have you. And
I appreciate it. If you guys buy them, you can. I mean, if you don't, I get it, in today's world. But yeah, I did do them from the heart because people out there, they suffer, man, and and sometimes they can't get the story out unless it's through something that I do or like Andy down the road does or anybody out there. So I do it for the people. Yeah. And then if I make a couple bucks, then hey, man, I love it. Put some money in the gas tank, right?
Exactly. And you get to buy a camera that will constantly zoom in and out and have no control over it whatsoever.
Man, you get to do that. I will tell you this: the minimal money that I make as a media guy, I upgraded internet service because that is like so expensive, man, to do these shows just on an internet side.
I had to get the 1 gig download just so I could get a solid stream, and you're not getting much change from £100 a month.
No, well, that's what 150 American.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
it depends. So I noticed though that you guys, I think your money's worth more than mine, though.
Yeah, it's about £100 is about $140.
Okay.
But so the conversion rate for me to come to America, I'm better off. For you to come to the UK, you lose out.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, don't come over here. Yeah, it's not worth it. Money wise.
Well, yeah, money wise. There's places I haven't seen in my own state because I'm too cheap to go.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens with the new election. See how that shakes out. But always a pleasure, Andy. Man, I had a great time.
Yep, you too. I always try and tune in best I can. So
no, I do the same for you. I usually watch your replays, really.
Yeah. same. It's just easier, isn't it? Because of the time difference.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
All
Right.
cool.
So have a wonderful show later. I'll try and tune. If I can stay awake, I'll try and tune in.
Well, hey, don't worry about it. There's always the great thing about YouTube, you guys, is don't be hesitate to watch the replay.
Yeah.
You know, most of my viewers are not in the chat room. They watch a lot. A lot of them. If I get 100 people in chat room, I've seen I got 300 people not in chat, and then the next day another 400 people watch it, which is great. It's always the replay makes up a lot of that. So that's always awesome.
Yeah, well, it's like this. It's showing 15, 16, 17 in the chat, but it's showing that there's about 150 watching.
Yeah, that's probably about right. A lot of people don't want to chat, which is cool.
Yeah,
they're just important. They're just as important as people in chat room, right?
Yeah,
they drive the show because there's more watching that are in chat, which is always things to them.
Everything adds to the algorithm and just keeps the channel running.
Helps. Everything helps. And even if you put a dislike, and I know we can talk forever. Another thing I found out: if you leave a comment, even just say, "Hey Andy, you suck," it don't matter.
Oh,
it helps out the algorithm.
Derek Woodrider's DG. He always every single show he puts, "Hey yo, hey Andy, yo Andy," and that works. That's works.
It could be anything. Just say hi.
Just a comma, or a full stop, or a
hit a period
mark. Yeah, anything.
Now, if you put a period, I'd be like, "Oh well, you're kind of an idiot," but
it's better than nothing.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So, but if you're gonna take one keystroke in a period, just say hi.
Yeah.
At least.
Just press that other button.
Yeah. Or just go on your keyboard, just typing stupid stuff. Yes. But anyway, thanks, man.
Right. Yeah. And we'll sort everything else out in the near future. And have a wonderful show later on today.
I will. Thanks. I'll drop this tonight for you as well.
Nice one.
I'll see if you're at that magical 1500. I'll promote it anyway, bro. So
nice one.
You're all good. Yep, you're all good.
Just before I go, I am back on Monday with a guy called Dan from Paranormal Scouter. He's over in the UK, in the north of England. He goes out investigating, and he's got some stuff coming up. So he's Monday's guest. So then we've got Mark Holly on Wednesday, Brandon Thomas and Dawn Lester on Friday. So busy week next week. So thank you, Rob. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you, Og, for doing the moderating. Thank you for everyone who's going to be listening on Podcast Player. It goes out on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast player you listen to it on. YouTube, the lot, everywhere.
Absolutely.
So, thank you. Right, so we're gonna do one. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend, and I'll catch you guys on Monday. Cheers again, Rob, and thank you everyone new in the chat.
Yep. Cheers. Thank you.
Appreciate it. See you all soon. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.